a lot of times, if not all the time, I'll say, how does that work for you? Expecting an objection. I want the objection so I can overcome it. I try to take the customer almost like through a story. Imagine you said to me, Aunt, you were great, but I'm going to go home and think about it. Say that to me.
Aunt, you were phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Think about it.
Absolutely, Mike. Absolutely. Mike, let me ask you this. When you say you need to think about it, do you need to think about the car or the money?
That's very good, because
now I'm isolating.
Now you're cutting away at the
right?
pie.
The car or the money?
I'd have to think about the money.
The money. So you love the car.
Love
you can see yourself driving the car every single day, right? So I got a no to the money. I'm getting another yes to the car.
Correct.
I want it to be the money. If it's the car, then I have a tough time, right? Because the money can almost never make sense. So guys, I isolated the objection. Is it the car or the money, right? So Mike, when you say the money, do you mean the down payment or monthly payment?
That's another. He's cutting away. Not to over the, but I'm very big and old-fashioned. Offer the purchase and take delivery now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what did you say, down payment or?
Monthly payment.
What he's doing is cutting away at the pie.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right. So so.
So it's down money. Let's just say down money.
All right. So now let's say, for instance, I'll give you guys a scenario. This is a mock pencil that was worked up for me, and we'll use this one by way of example. So this customer's wants to finance for 72 months. They said they were comfortable putting $2,000 down. You could tell they're upside down in their trade. Looks like $5,000. Okay.
What payment do they want to pay?
Let's just say, forget about where it says up top current payment. Let's just say right now they're paying around 7, right? And they were willing to go up to 8. Okay, they're willing to go up to 8. So we're in that same scenario. We're about $50 per week apart, right? So when I present my pencil, and this is my way of doing it. Now, mind you, I came up in the business where we presented pencils like on the back of napkins, right? There was no full disclosure, right? Like it was actually so archaic. They verbally told you, just go tell them this, right? So
No court admissible evidence.
right, with a full disclosure pencil, I'm not a personal fan, and I'm not telling you guys to do this. I just know by way of experience, I'm not a fan of going line by line by line by line, and the reason being is, by the time I get to my down payment and monthly payment, you've already had about 17 objections. There's already tension built in. Your brain's so cloudy, we can't even focus on this. I may not even make it here, especially to a newer salesperson. I got into not a debate, but I told one of the managers, he had a brand new guy breaking down the fees. And I said, okay, that's fine. Let me ask you, what are the fees? And the manager didn't even know. I said, well, if you don't know them, how's the new salesperson that started 18 minutes ago going to answer that question?
And you really want to get off a price.
Yeah, I don't. You'll never hear me say the word price.
No.
You'll never hear me say it. So let's say I presented the pencil to you, right, Mike? Now, mind you, you said you could put $2,000 down, all right? All right, Mike, great news. I got those numbers worked up for us. I have that $2,000 down that you said you were comfortable with. I don't want him to backpedal and go, what would it be with nothing down? That you said you were comfortable with. I gave you a few other down payment options as well. These are the monthly payments that line up those down payments. Now, Mike, this is all still pending bank approval. We have not submitted to a lender yet. But if you pick whatever option works best for you, we'll get you out of here today in your brand new car. Now, at this point, guys, I sit back in my chair right around pending bank approval. The reason being is, if Mike's sitting across from me, I know he's leaned forward like this. And if I'm also leaned forward like this, it feels really tense. I'm signaling to Mike from a body language and a disposition standpoint that I'm relaxed, hoping he matches and mirrors as well. And I want him to know, like, I'm not going anywhere, man. We're staying seated. Like, you could say, no, I'm relaxed, man. We're just getting started. So right around the pending bank approval, I sit back, and then obviously I shut up. And if you, sometimes I'll even fidget around my desk a little bit. Like, I'm not even paying attention. Like, these are the options, right?
Because usually sometimes, like the old cliche was, the first one who talks
loses. Now, Mike, you may not remember, but when I go in on a TO, and I always have, and even if I'm closing a deal on the floor, I have a stack of paper like this with me, and you could tell I do it a lot. But I believe that we're visual learners. I try to take the customer almost like through a story. I tell a story with the numbers, and I want them to visually see what's going on. Because if I just say, no, we can't do that, or this is what this would be, yeah, there's validity in my words, but when they see it written down, it becomes more real, right? Imagine going into finance to sign for a car, and they go, all right, well, your payment's going to be, $850 per month, 75 months, and we'll see you later. And you're like, all right, isn't there a contract or something? Like you just verbally told me. Another thing that's very important, guys, I do different type of, I call it mathematic gymnastics. I start adding, I start subtracting. I do all this work for them, none of which is costing me $1 in gross profit, but something very important is happening. They're looking at me and saying, wow, I'll tell you what, he's really working hard for me. He's trying. It's not like he at least he's trying. Like, all right, I guess that is the best he could do. So let's say I presented these numbers to you, Mike, and you have it, and you could throw any objection in the world at me. Go ahead.
Well,
I always have my calculator out.
I was talking it over with my wife.
Okay.
I think I can put on another $500.
Another 5? Okay. So $2,500? Awesome.
Yeah.
I write it down, guys.
$2,500.
Guys, I write it down on a blank piece of paper, right? I'm now building a new deal. At some point, I kind of want this to go away. So I may even start writing on the back of here. But as I start working this, at some point, sleight of hand, now I'm working off of this. Or that's my ultimate goal. So $2,500 down, excellent. Every time he gives me something, I get excited about it. Awesome, perfect.
$2,500 down. And Ken, you did say that we can use the credit card, and I can use it up
Absolutely.
to $2,500. So that's going to give
Sure.
me points, and we're going on vacation.
Excellent,
So
excellent.
that would save us money. $2,500 on my credit card. I think
Okay.
that'd be great. If you could get me to $850,
Okay.
we got a deal.
Okay, so $2,500. So if I take $500, Mike, and I divide that by 72 months, that'll impact the payment around $7. Okay, so we would then take $7 off of the 1,023. So with the 2,500 down, that would bring us to 1,016. Now you had said 850, right? Mike, if I were just to show you the difference from 950 hypothetically, I just want to show you the difference of what that would be. Guys, when I do this, guys, I don't allow him to interrupt me. I almost bully my way through this. And the reason being is once I show him this difference, it makes it much harder for him to look me in the eyes and go back to 850.
And go back because he's showing me it's impossible.
Start from the beginning of this.
2 and 2.
All right, so he said 850, right? So I'm like, I just want to show you really quickly. If we were at 950, I just want to show you what the difference would be there. You would take the 1,016 and subtract 950. And at 950, we're $66 per month apart. Now, obviously, there's 72 months in the term. We'd have to multiply that by our term of 72 months. So in total payments at 950, we're $47.52 apart. So in order to get to 950, Mike, you would have to combine the $47.52 with the $2,500. So this is gone now, by the way. With $72.52 down, that's how we would get to 950, right? Now watch this. I'm not going to suggest to him. Now I got a couple things up my sleeve. Obviously, I have 84 months. I have a lease. I have all this up my sleeve. But I want to focus on getting more money down first, right? So I want him to buy down the payment before I go there. Because if I go to 84 months or a lease, I'm just maximizing gross profit. But I want him to do the work first. I'm not expecting him to say yes, but I'm also not going to suggest that it's going to be a no, right? I'm not going to say, but I know you wanted to be 850, Mike. So no. So with 72.52 down, you're at 950 per month over 72 months. So that's how you would get to 950. How does that work for you? And a lot of times, if not all the time, I'll say, how does that work for you? Expecting an objection. I want the objection so I can overcome it, right? How does that work for you, Mike?
Well, let me ask you something. Even though I didn't say this, could you stretch the term out further? And not that I was for it. See, now I'm setting myself up.
Here's the thing. First off, if I get a guy like this, I'm the one going on vacation, not Mike. So let's say.
You gotta be a little more stubborn there, Mike.
Yeah, be a little more stubborn. I want you to say.
Mike, think of your customers.
Yeah. I want you to say. How does that work for you? Say absolutely. I can't do that. Say that to me.
Listen,
Just say I can't do it.
I just can't do that.
Okay.
That's
Now, guys,
much.
once again, isolating the objection. Now, Mike, when you say you can't do that, could you not do the down payment or monthly payment? I want you either one.
I can't do the monthly thing.
Okay, but you could do the 72.52 down.
Yes.
So chances are he probably would say no. If he said yes, that's great. But when, when he says, the tenants line just opened, so it's, no, but when he says, I can't do that, guys, that's a blanket objection. There's multiple objections within that. You can't overcome two at once. You have to isolate. So when you say I can't do that, I'm going to say down payment or monthly payment. I want you to say both. Say both.
Both.
Okay,
You
well,
can't do both.
let's start with the down payment. Like
Okay.
the $72.52, an average salesperson would probably say what? How much could you put down, right?
Right.
You'll never.
Could you split me in the, can you come up close, stay in the middle?
So it's funny. The middle I do sometimes. I'm actually going to show you guys a close called the validation close. But I watched this guy. He was a hostage negotiator, and he started to teach sales training. And he said something very interesting to me. He goes, he did this thing. He said, never meet in the middle. He goes, I was brought up that if you meet in the middle, if they have 10 hostages and we meet in the middle, 5 people are dead.
That's right.
He goes, so I don't even say meet in the middle. And when I think of it that way, I'm like, well, that's half my profit, right? So I'm going to say to Mike, never, where could you, and here's the other thing too, if I offer meeting in the middle, what happens is I humanize the numbers and I make him think I'm in control of them. See, I don't want him to think I have that type of power. I want him to think the numbers are the numbers are the numbers. So I'm going to say, Mike, the 72.52, let me ask you this.
How close to that?
How close to that could you get, right? How close?
Because by meeting in the middle, you're giving up your profit.
But if I say how close to that could you get, something else very important is happening. The posturing is that I'm making Mike work towards my number.
Right.
I'm not working towards his. Because his number could be made up, especially if it's payment. He wants to be $600 a month. He just pulled that out of thin air. There's no substance behind it. So Mike, how close to the 72.52 could you get?
I can do 68.
Make it harder for me.
All right. 6,000.
6,000? Okay. So Mike, guys, it's
Next
on.
role play is going to be with me.
Yes, yeah, please. Please.
The man Russian.
Please.
Listen, but you got to make it so that we have a
You gonna be the man Russian?
conversation.
No, it's just
I can't make it.
This
I
is
can't say
sparring.
4,000.
No, this is sparring. Yeah, you could say 4,000.
4,000.
4,000. Okay. So now, guys, it's on this page, but I'm not going back to it. So $4,000. All right, great. Once again, great. I just got another $1,500. Now, guys, the alternative. Think about how we got to this point. He said he wanted to go home and think about it. Like that seems like a month ago that he said that.
Yeah.
Like, look how far we've come since there. Right? I want to go home and think about it. Well, all right, yeah. Let me get your keys for you. Like, there's.
And I went from 2,000 to 4,000.
Right. So now watch. And we bumped you really from 850 to 950. You haven't said no yet to that, right?
No.
So I'm working off the down payment, right? So 72.52. If we subtract our 4,000 that we're comfortable with, I keep saying that, that's 32.52. That now has to reflect towards the payment, right? We took away some money from the down payment. The monthly payment will obviously reflect. Divide that by 72 months. So now payment goes up. It's only $45. Only $45, making it seem like it's inconsequential. We add that to our 950. And watch this. And we're still right there in the nines. Right there in the nines. We're really at 1,000, but we're right there in the nines, right? Just little assumptive techniques. And we're 995. So right there, 4,000 down brings us right to 995. How's that work for you? And I want you to say, no, I can't do the 995.
995 is too much.
Too much for you? A little too much?
Yeah, that's a little.
Little too much? Right? I wanted to think like, all right, if I am going to get a chop here, it can't be too much because Ant said just a little too much. All right, so let me ask you this. How close to the 995 could you get if I'm making a deal right now? Now I'm in right now mode, guys, because he was in think about it mode. Now I got him back in the close. We're doing it right now. And I'm not afraid to say that because he's proven to me he wants to continue to work this deal. If I'm making a deal right now.
900.
900? All right. So, Mike, let me ask you this. I think there's two options for us here. And I think both of them are definitely going to head us in the right direction. And you tell me which one's better for you. Now, I don't know if we can get approved for it or not, but if I was able to get you approved for a special term of 84 months, I never say extended, guys. It sounds negative. I say special. It sounds exclusive.
Only with people with good credit get these terms.
Yeah. And the thing I'll say to Mike is all of my customers would like to go with the special term. It's just not all of them get approved for it. Exclusivity. If I get you approved for a special term of 84 months, or if I was able to get you a lease to purchase option where you had the option to lease the vehicle and then decide if you'd like to purchase it after.
Now you're switching it.
Now watch this. Which one of them will work better for you? Now guys, think about this. All of us want to feel like we have options, right? We want the power of choice. We want selection. about 10 minutes ago, the options were take my car deal or go home and think about it. Now the options are 84 months or a lease to purchase, both of which are within my parameters. Both of them equal a car deal. So I'm giving him the options now, but all of them end with him leaving in a brand new car. Which one of them would work better for you?
If I go with the lease, we're looking at 36 months?
I could check on the program for you. Yeah, we're going to get you the most aggressive lease that's going to keep your payment the lowest, which I have no idea what the lease is, so I'm just going to say that, right?
Okay. Well, I would like to do the finance, but if you can get me 36 months, 15,000 miles a year.
Okay. Now, with the lease, Mike, it is a lease to purchase, so you said you'd like to do the finance. You plan on keeping the vehicle?
Probably.
Okay. With the lease to purchase, you do have the option of purchasing it at the end of the lease, at which point those miles would be yours. I feel like the mileage is sort of a scare tactic on behalf of the manufacturer, because what happens is they know that the average person gets out of their lease early, they purchase it at the end, or in a post-pandemic market.
Well, someone that goes 5 years gets out in 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So
well,
same thing.
that vehicle, nowadays with inventory being so light due to the pandemic, every dealership wants a nice pre-owned vehicle they could sell on their lot. So when that vehicle goes back to the dealership, it never goes back to the leasing company, and only the leasing company can assess that mileage penalty. So what they really want you to do is, the manufacturer, they want you to pay an extra $50 per month for miles that you don't need. So I would suggest going whatever the lowest is to keep that payment the lowest. For I do feel like you think you want to go with whatever's the lowest payment, right?
Correct.
Okay, great.
And that's where you're building gross. Because
100%.
if you can convince me to go to 10,000, you just
I'll try to get you to go to 1,000 if I could.
Right. We're building a lot of gross.
Now, guys.
You're thinking like a customer, though. You're supposed to be thinking like a customer.
Now, sir, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How much are they charging me per mile if I were to go over?
What is it, 25 cents?
15 cents. 15
Plus,
cents.
some of the
Yeah. So, Mike, it would be 15 cents per mile in only one scenario. And the scenario would be this. At the maturity date of your lease, you come back to the dealership and you hand your keys in and you say, I'm not going to get another vehicle from now till the end of time, right? So if you were to purchase your vehicle at the end, which you said that you may want to do that,
right,
that wouldn't apply. If you were to get out of your vehicle early and trade it back into any dealership, right, that wouldn't apply. And then if you come back to us, a Toyota dealership, we could certify your leased vehicle, which we're going to put it on our lot, right? And it's not going to go back to the leasing company, so that also wouldn't apply. So the only scenario would be if you determine that, hey, I'm going to give my keys back. For whatever reason, maybe the vehicle was in really bad condition. I don't know, and the dealership said we didn't want that car, which in a post-pandemic market, that never happens. That scenario would not take place. But let me ask you this. You do plan on keeping the vehicle, right?
Probably. I mean, you see right now, I had a 60-month loan, and I'm getting out in 3.5 years.
That's the exact reason why you should lease the car, right?
Exactly.
Now imagine, he has negative equity. He has negative equity. I didn't open Pandora's box and talk about it, but let's assume that he does know about it. Let's say we had the conversation about it, right? And he's okay with the total amount of negative equity. That's the exact reason why you should lease this vehicle, Mike. Because if you leased the vehicle last time, in 3 years, you'd be free and clear with no negative equity. But because you financed it, we have that $5,000 kind of balance on our shoulder that we have to carry around. By leasing this vehicle, you'll be able to stop the bleeding. So 3 years from now, you won't be rolling negative equity into car loan, and eventually be paying for 3 loans in one car. This is going to stop that bleeding.